Lucio or Ana.
Let's have a chance. I'll feel. 15 seconds.
Yeah. So,
Big brain.
Yeah, that thing that people need to do.
Yeah, like an orange, you get off of them, you leave.
Alright, what do they got?
I saw
You see anybody
Hanzo.
yet? You saw Hanzo? Okay.
I think it was
Alright, so let's be
somebody.
careful.
Genji? Oh, okay, that's...
They have a.
Oh my gosh, I'm completely muted. Anyway, I probably missed my entire opening right there, which is horrible. So, we've got quite a few VOD reviews. No mic. Yeah, is it working now? Yeah, oh my lord. So yeah, we've got Sequoia, Brother Dig, Luxury, and Hammy today. We'll probably get through Hammy, and then we'll save the rest of them for tomorrow. So I'm starting with Sequoia. I coached her like 2 weeks ago, so I'm interested to kind of see how she's improved since then. What I was saying though is I don't want you hard scoping this area actually as you're going through, especially when they have a shield up. It's possible they could have a Widow sitting behind there, and it only takes this little kind of slit here for her to get you. The one thing I want to point out, and like the kind of way I'm going to do these reviews today, is I want you to be thinking about even like the smallest little instances where you can improve. As minor as it sounds. So there's something that like Jane says all the time, and a lot of people will kind of like, I mean, a lot of people say this, but you know, I want you to play for the rank you want, not for the rank you are. Okay, so this is like, I understand why you want to do this, because you want to get the little bit of scouting information that's here, but again, right when you see it, it's time to turn on it. So
Ryan, Hanzo.
so you were through the area quick, so that's fine.
Genji. Lucio.
Missing shots already, feels bad.
Alright, let's just,
I like your positioning right now. Hanzo's up there though. Alright, so look how wide you are on this angle right now. You know what I mean? Like, you could certainly be like quick peeking this if you wanted to, as opposed to hard scoping down on a Hanzo. A good Hanzo player can actually just kill you right here. So your team's not ready to engage yet, so at least mind this threat here. You do get a shot in on him, which is excellent. He's probably going to drop back from that. But maybe try just throwing in a quick scope there instead of just trying to hard scope in on him and trying to hit him. So.
Someone's in window there?
Well,
Just throw Hanzo in the window?
we're just chilling.
Off? He's half though.
I missed my aim, maybe.
Call out if you're gonna hack someone, Big Widow. Hanzo's
I'm
alone.
just pushing
I'm
target.
gonna jump this Hanzo.
Yep.
He's half.
Okay, I got
I'm aging.
Okay. So I think you actually get drawn into this fight a bit too much here, Sequoia.
Big Widow. Hanzo's
I'm
alone.
just pushing
I'm
target.
gonna jump this Hanzo.
Yep.
And you're going on the wrong side of the payload here. If we know the rest of the team, like if we know the enemy team is over in this area here, go on the right side of the payload as opposed to coming up on the left side, because you're going to be you're kind of like putting yourself in a dangerous spot here, you know. So if we imagine the payload as almost like a like our own Rhine shield, you know, we don't want to be in front of our Rhine shield here. We want to be behind cover at all times. And this is an instance here where I think you're just getting your position is just a little bit off.
He's half.
Okay, I got
I'm aging. I'm jumping back. Get you one.
Discord Bronson? Oh, yeah, good.
Sorry, it's hacked.
Where? I found her. I'm on the Ana. Ana's half. She's got no nade, no sleep dart.
I'm on you, Genji. I have you.
Got on it. This Ryan is one.
Somebody's Discord in there.
Lucio's hacked.
Lucio's hacked. Sorry, that's not you about that.
Nice nade. Good nade.
That's big purple.
The Genji's Discorded.
I'm baby.
I'll just speak.
Good work. So you guys end up taking this.
Discord,
Sorry.
Genji, come again. Jumping again.
Genji Discord.
Dead nice.
Nice. Okay, so
Lucio's hack. No sleep dart. I found him. Genji one. I'm jumping back. Genji in, Genji in, Genji one.
Discord Gunson? Yeah,
Nice.
alright, so here I want you to be more vocal. You know, if you were in ranked right now, you would probably tell your team to kind of like chill for a second. If you're in a team environment, it's the same thing here. Like, tell Namgram or whoever tanking at this point to just mind their health for a second, or to stabilize, and just let them know you're pocketing them right now. Like, that's what we need to do here. We need to stabilize, and then we can go back in.
This hack?
Where? I found him. I'm on the Ana. Ana's hack. She's got no nade, no sleep dart.
I'm on you, Genji.
Okay, so that nade, we didn't need to throw that, or at least not there, right? So I know you're trying to hit Basilicon with the nade, but even in that instance there, I mean, Luxury Yacht can get an orb on him. Like, we have a few options. That's Pinguino maybe over there. But the idea here is we don't want to be throwing a nade just at like one person who's like a squishy who we could easily just heal up with like one shot, you know. So just tell him he's out of your LOS, or you need to be moving forward a bit more here so that you're in a position to heal him. So, but we would get more value out of actually putting the nade in with our tanks, right? So it's just something to kind of think about here. That nade is, we don't get any value from that.
I have you.
Got Honor.
So we would imagine Namgram probably survives there.
Somebody's Discord in their log.
Lucio's hack.
Lucio's hack.
So you're just kind of throwing shots out right now. We need to be a little bit smarter with our ammunition. So I know you're trying to hit people that are over here, but instead of just throwing out like kind of shots that are just like hitting the wall here, you know, over in this area, wherever. Try quick scoping in and trying to actually hit people instead of just kind of like spamming fire like you might with like a Zenyatta or something into the area. So take your time with these shots, because now you're going to get yourself in a position where you might need to reload when you don't want to, and that's definitely not what we want.
Big purple.
Good. Way to heal Luxury, that's excellent.
I'll just speak.
Hit tab here.
I'm baby.
Okay. Unlucky with sleep. We should be hitting tab here pretty soon though.
Coming in. Jumping in.
Genji Discord.
Dead nice.
Like, we should be hitting tab right now. So this is the in-between phase here with a fight. You have Nano right now. Do we have Blade? Do we have Blade to, you know, go with it? Are we going to Nano Winston here? You know, who's on fire on the enemy team, right? So these are things we want to be kind of thinking about now. And it needs to be, like, instantaneous. Like, right after a fight's ending or as the fight's ending, this is when we should be hitting the tab screen to see what we're doing next fight.
Hi,
We
Trans.
just need to focus that on him. They don't have much shields.
We got no blade this fight.
I'm
Okay.
saving. I'm saving my transfer blade.
Alright, let's.
Alright, so the tiny thing here, I know you want to heal Basilicon here. That's fine, but the rotation should be on the opposite side of this wall here. If you're going to be moving up. You're putting yourself in like a really dangerous position here, actually.
Let's use Nano Blade this next fight.
They're either have to save it for Blade or
I have card.
Dragon.
Maintain an angle here. You're basically standing in an area right here on the street where you have no angle on your tanks. If anything, just fall back into the area behind you, into the little doorway, so that you have an angle on them so they can hold kind of this side area and still get healed by you. You're in a position right now where you get 0 value. I mean, it'll be a common theme, right? Like, every single time, no matter where you're positioned, you have to be thinking about the next fight and where they might be coming. So, if the enemy team pushes up and on to, like, Nam and Purple here, they're going to fall backwards this direction, and you're not going to be in a position to heal them here. So, keep that in mind.
Combo.
So, you're moving back now.
Genji behind you.
So, you throw a nade there,
Thank you for the nade.
it ends up missing.
Genji's hack. Genji's hack.
Alright. So, again, like, if we go back just a little bit here,
Genji behind you.
if we're just positioned a bit more to the left here, we can tell Nam to kind of like mind your sight here. Like, he could play more aggressively like in this area here, and you can just pocket the shit out of him, right? So as opposed to kind of taking this like hindered angle where you're at right now, like you're in a really tight angle, we want to maintain like a longer sight line here.
Belly's on
I'm
bridge.
jumping next to you.
Genji behind you. Push them off.
Thank you for the nade.
Alright, back. Get stack, get stack.
Come back, wait.
I think I got dinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're down two. Just stabilize.
Back up.
Stay on cart. Stay on cart. You can keep pushing. Unless there's someone there.
There's just double tanks
I have
again.
Evo.
Kidding.
Ryan charged. He's discarded.
Focus Ryan, focus Ryan.
Bubbles off.
There's a lot.
Okay, so this is again kind of like a tiny thing, but it matters a lot here. Look at how you're positioned right now. Where's your closest cover? And your closest cover is either here or here, and it's pretty far away, right? So you have a Hanzo and a Genji here who are probably putting damage into you, and they have tanks that are like right in this area, right? So there's no reason for us to be kind of like sitting in the middle here, as opposed to minding cover on this side or this side, or at least playing closer to it. Like we could imagine an angle here where if we're playing over here, and let me kind of, I'll actually bring this up here in Overwatch. I have it up right now for this reason. So okay, so we're gonna look at some like common kind of places to hold with Anna here, because she can be somewhat difficult on point 2 here, just because there's so much high ground, so you have to kind of like mine that high ground a lot. And the door's not open, feels bad. Alright, so you were holding like right here, you know, and like you have kind of an angle, right? But if we just kind of move into this area here, our angle changes dramatically. We can even rotate over into this area if we need to. Again, angle rotates dramatically. I know it seems like kind of a weird position to be over in this area, but if we're just trying to control high ground, this area is not that bad actually. If they're on dive, this could be like really sketch, but because they're on Ryan Zarya, if they came over into this area, right, like let's say they rushed you here, or they tried pincering you from both sides, you're, first off, you got the mega here, and we're bringing them into a position where we're actually pretty strong. So I don't think it's so much of an issue actually. Now in this area here, you're standing right here, right? As opposed to like maybe even hugging this area. You have sight lines on your guys here. They might flank you from this way, but if we start pushing them back, we can actually get aggressive here with a nade, as opposed to worrying about like hitting the shield from this angle even. We can take more of an aggressive angle here and continue with the push. You could even be playing on this side here as well. Again, we take more of an aggressive angle here, come around on the backside and nade if you need to. So we don't necessarily have that option when we're just hanging out here like in the middle, right? We're just sustaining, right? We're focusing so much on our mechanics and healing people that we're not recognizing our own poor positioning, right? So if there's like a Widow or a Hanzo that's up in this area here and we're sitting here, we're basically a sitting duck. So okay.
I almost got bombed. We
We
have a lot of
can nano blade here. We can nano blade here.
We can EMP bomb. We nano monkey.
Hanzo's anti.
That's fine. That's fine.
Alright,
Hanzo's lap.
We can EMP bomb.
Can you heal monkey?
It's for Genji.
Monkey play.
why is that?
It needs to be quicker with Winston, and you got drawn into this fight here. So remember how I was talking to you about oh hey, thanks Fiber for the follow, man. Remember how I was talking about how you were going this way before, so you actually got punished for it this time, right? Because you want to follow monkey in, and again, if you go this way, if he's deep right over into this area, you still can't see him from your initial approach. If you go this way, you maintain longer sight lines, and you're not in like the Reinhardt's face when he comes through, right? Because the Reinhardt ends up like messing you up here because you end up taking like a poor position.
It's for Genji.
Monkey
Like he zooms past you there, and you kind of like totally ignore him.
play.
Or if like maybe not ignore him, you were like too worried about healing, you know? And you need to maintain, like, sometimes there will be times where like your tank goes somewhere that he shouldn't go. That was one of those times. Like he messed up. That's not your fault. You can't sustain somebody who messes up like that.
No. Back up first. Back up first. Let's see.
Wait, Sombra?
Next fight.
It's for Ryan.
Okay, so you guys have a bank of ultimates here. I would almost say at this point, hey Nam, what's up, man? Also, Nam, your shot calling is sounding really good, man. Like, no joke. You're sounding really good. You haven't been playing a lot lately, and I know that, but you're still sounding good, man. So one thing to consider here is you guys have like a full bank of ultimates other than yours right now. Imagine going in with a blade, they end up dropping the beat, and then you guys EMP the beat off of them, right? So, but you guys are going in with EMP first. They're probably going to drop a beat then.
Right.
You can EMP bomb, EMP blade.
Hey, what's up, programmer? How you doing, man?
Alright.
Okay. Just make sure you can catch the Lucio.
Up top.
Since we're trying to counter their upbeat.
Alright, I'm going to EMP in 3,
Lucio discorded?
2, 1.
Go here, shoot.
Okay, that's
Nice.
Oh,
really unlucky right there with the nade. But every time, like, it's so funny because every single time you approach this point, you come through the same area here. I want you just to try coming through on this way, just once, maybe next scrim or something like that. What tool do you use to draw on top of the video? Oh, they dropped the beat last fight as well? Yeah, alright, well that makes more sense. I wasn't paying attention enough. So I use Epic Pen, actually, Fiber. So, this tool right here. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I might get the actual paid version because you can draw, like, straight lines and arrows and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty nice. So I might get that. Hey, what's up, Effigy? How you doing, man? So, alright, let's keep watching here.
Go here, shoot.
Yeah, unlucky, but, you know,
Nice.
you need to be in position to get that nade in, right? Like, you see him in front of you, so that can't really happen.
Cluster's
Right
up.
first, right first, right first. Right skillful, right
no, 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 no.
Dead.
You're awesome, though. Just Lucio.
You guys are looking pretty good, though.
I'm fishing.
Like, you guys are definitely looking pretty good right now.
Nice.
Every time I watch you guys, I get more excited for
I saw
Outlet,
one of
actually.
them EMP'd and I almost
Is there Genji somewhere
instinctively
nearby?
touched.
You're anti, get back, get back.
Alright, so, again, with the nade here, I mean, it's a low-value nade.
Primaling here.
We see one person that's there. Like, I know you're trying to, like, nade them, but if purple's purpled, you know what I mean? Like, if anyone's purple, a nade can't counter the actual purple, right? So we shouldn't be throwing the nade in at this point. The call for Namgram to fall back is probably a good one because he ends up kind of wasting... He ends up actually wasting Primal here. He could have probably fallen back, waited to get healed back up, and then got back in once the payload was, like, closer to here. And we probably would have got more value from the Primal at that point. Because we don't really have an ability to, like, follow up with him here because you're here, Luxury's with you also on Zen, Sombra's over here, Genji might be somewhere up there, but yeah. I think the nade was just premature here.
You're anti, get back, get back.
Like, and even if you're going for the Hanzo, like, that's still, like, low value, right? Like, Nam is behind the enemy team. This Hanzo is all by himself. Like, you should just be putting damage into him at this point. Yeah, go ahead and download it, Fiber. It's free, so for sure, man, you should get it.
Yep, I'm primaling here just
I'm
to
just pushing.
be a nuisance. We might be able
Just
to
to be a
get
nuisance.
point off of this.
Discord's Arya?
No, no.
They're probably gonna grab, right?
That's personal app? I'm hitting monkey.
I'm bombing.
Discord on Zarya still.
Genji's
Oh, nice try. Yeah, I see what you're going for there. It's not a bad idea. But the one thing I want to talk about here, and this is, again, same thing, right? Like, we know they're coming in to contest payload here,
No, no, no.
There is
That's personal app?
and you're playing, like, really, really open right now, you know? Like, you could have, in this instance here, we'll go back to... Like, we know we're not going to be able to cap payload because they're going to contest here, so if we know that's going to happen, then we need to be positioning a bit more passively right now, preparing for that, right? So, if anything, if the payload's all the way up there, and I know they're going to be coming in to contest, I could be playing back in here, right? Think about how many resources they have to invest into me just to get here. And then I have here, I have there, I have here, right? And, like, let's say Genji comes after me here. I can back up a little bit if I need to. You know, I've got options, right? And we know they've got Blade because they haven't used it yet, and Luxury doesn't have his ult. So that means we need to play spread for the Blade at that point. So Luxury will probably be the #1 target. The idea to nano him is decent, but they are also nano blading. So it's one of those times where I'm not sure if we get the value right, because he's going to be able to out damage even like a Transcendence with nano blade. So if he was normal blade, I think you nano him. I think you nano our Zenyatta, but because they nano blade, he's pretty much dead. So I don't know if it's worth it at that point to nano him. But if we look at it here, like look how kind of aggressive you're playing here, and you end up getting punished for it actually, right? Like you're essentially out in the open, you know. Like if we look at it here, you're really just playing in this area, right? Like hey, come get me, right? And they have like a Hanzo, right? So you're not minding the Hanzo. Like if the Hanzo was on with his shots, right? Like you would be dead hanging out here, right? As opposed to like hanging here and then popping out to heal, popping out to heal, popping out to heal, right? And so again, I think you're just a little bit too aggressive here. You're standing in the middle of nowhere, essentially. Like this is no man's land, as opposed to playing with cover.
I'm bombing.
Nice try on the sleep though. That was really close. Good nade. Yeah, just unfortunate. That's all that is.
Yep. Back out, back out. Well, who do we now?
I tried to
We-
put Zen to transfer live. Fine, I'll get it back fast.
You'll get it back fast. Yes, you will.
Coming off me.
I'm gonna posture high ground.
More in a paintball. More in a paintball is what we need here. Could you play from streets versus bus? What do you mean by that, Zenadine? Can you give me a better idea? Like, are you talking about from here? Like on defense or on attack? What do you mean? Like, if like our team is playing here, or if like we're playing up here, I think bus is probably one of the better spots to hold, personally. And this depends on like how you like. I would have played from the streets main. Oh, okay. You're talking about like playing from over here, right? So playing from over here is fine. I don't see a problem with it. I'm kind of more talking specifically about the way that Sequoia was positioning herself. So she was already positioned pretty far up here. So her fallback would have been really dangerous to go back to streets. So she can maintain like an aggressive angle here actually without too much issue. She actually has like a lot of cover here as well. She can get killed from like multiple angles, so it can be dangerous. But the enemy team, I'm trying to remember, they're not on dive yet. So let's go back. Yeah, so they're not on dive yet. So I think because they're not on dive yet, this is fine. But playing from streets, like I don't have too much of a problem playing from streets here. Like it's relatively safe. So I'm just saying, just because she got so aggressive to start with, I think falling back to bus probably would have been advisable. So, and I mean I like this angle when they don't really have anything to contest you. Playing on bus here can be really nice because we get like all of these aggressive angles over on this side, and it seems kind of weird to play on this side, but it can certainly work. It can definitely work. I think normally though, you're playing on this side of payload as you're coming through, and then backing off as they're coming in. But in this case, since they have Blade, we don't have Trance. Zen and Anna should be split as well, so Bus should have been played anyway, right? So Bus could have been played. I think Luxury could have been playing a bit more aggressive, like over in this area also. But yeah, we would probably want to play a bit split because we know they have Blade, right? But that also means that we should be using Genji as like the #1 target to kill, right? And we didn't necessarily identify what our lose condition was, which was Genji Blade. So if we do that, then we focus down the Genji right off the bat, as opposed to trying to kill him after he's already bladed and nanoed, you know? So, but they also have Grav, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. If they have Grav, we don't want to stay grouped up together either, you know?
No.
There is
Who was that?
That's personal out. I'm really looking.
I'm bombing.
This burns already still.
Genji.
Genji.
Good to have.
Alright, so how did it go with scrims last night? Scrims were good. Are you talking about for A-Team or for Academy? Because I'm pretty sure this is from last night, if I'm not mistaken. So it looks like it went really well. Yeah, November 27th. So this is from last night. It looks like it went pretty well.
20% off me.
I'm gonna posture high ground.
Come on.
With you.
So they still have grav.
Where are you? Ooh,
They probably have dragons as well.
They dragons.
Oh.
I don't, they might
they
have
dragon
been-
bladed, but
They dragon, but I think they have it again. Yeah. Hanzo half Discord.
Honors over on the other side. I'm not with you.
No grenade on
On
top.
his sword?
Nice nade. That's a really good nade.
Get this right.
Good sleep, good sleep, good sleep, but don't wake him.
Dead.
Pushes are.
Anything
Pushes
monkey?
are.
Pushing
I'm
Zarya.
out of it.
Hanzo 1.
Discord is Zarya.
Zarya low.
Grab him.
Genji one. Genji one.
Okay. Small little thing here.
Hanzo 1.
Discord.
So I like your patience here, but I would have told Nam to chill and told Purple to kind of like maintain, like sustain.
Dead.
Pushes are.
Anything monkey?
But you're kind of like positioned a bit passively again here. Like as we kill that Reinhardt, that's when we should be pushing. Like it needs to be almost like instant. Like Reinhardt's dead, I'm pushing forward, and you could have maybe gotten a heal on Purple. But Purple ended up feeding here. So
I'm out of it.
Hanzo 1.
Discord is Zarya.
Zarya low.
Grab.
okay, so this nade needs to be at your feet here. 100%. Like you need to be nading at your feet. And I like your patience with the nade.
Grab.
I'm not sure if it was because it was on cooldown still. No, it wasn't.
Discord is Zarya.
Zarya low.
Grab him.
Genji one. Genji one. Genji melee.
Genji's low in the back.
Lucius low.
So yeah, you just missed the nade there. That's really all it was.
You're way up. You're way up.
I can't push that.
So you got bad spawn. Let the team know you got bad spawn.
Be careful, Mom.
We can stagger. Ryan, maybe?
We have
No,
low
I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna
You
risk
have no
it.
heals and you're two critical people. You might want to just back.
We'll get free car progress, but we'll play safe.
Yeah, fair.
All right, so you have Nano Blade coming up, right?
The cart heals
Just let
50%.
Nam know you can't see him, man. You know.
I almost had bomb.
taking this high ground
Bomb
with
is
this
well
Genji.
safe.
So
We almost have the MP bomb. That's our next win condition.
you guys also have Nano Blade coming up.
Does the Genji have his blade again?
Probably.
Your positioning is fine here.
All right. I'll save.
I'm
All
gonna count down big window.
Genji has blade. Genji's half.
right. All right. Cool. I'm healing.
We're shattered.
Oh,
We're
I'm
shattered.
shattered. I'm shattered.
All right.
Reset.
Josh,
Reset.
Josh,
I'm just
back up,
backing
back up,
here.
Reset. Let's set up for EMP bomb this way.
Healing you, Anna? I'm low. No. Thank you.
We'll say
Can you heal D.Va?
France.
It doesn't matter who heals her.
Oh, okay.
My goddamn shots for
Hopefully we can.
Yep.
The life of an anime, and if those goddamn shots would just hit, right?
Tell us when we're set.
All right, you guys should go in with Nano Blade here, if anything.
Varian, tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready? Alright, EMP in 3, 2, 1.
Big. Now you have Nano Blade.
Transing in the back.
On
Genji.
attack.
Focus Genji.
Was that our blade or their blade?
there's
That was their blade.
So you guys have Nano Blade now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they all come out, let's nano blade.
And you can monkey boot them into spawn mode. They're coming. They're
Discord's
coming.
out?
They're coming.
Hey, beat it. Wait for B.
Okay.
They're not.
We know they're coming out, and I think this is just a common theme right now of kind of like getting drawn in a bit.
Once they all come out, let's
Like, look how aggressive you are right now. Like, play back a little bit. Play back a bit.
They're coming. They're
Discord's
coming.
out?
They're coming.
Hey, beat it. Wait for
Like, you're so worried about getting the nano on Basilicon here that you end up putting yourself in like a really bad spot, right? So maybe we can work with Basilicon on this about dashing up instead of like playing in this area, but his position really not that bad right now. Like, he's definitely coming out of there from nowhere. Like, if anything, like if we kind of go to this point here, there's like a few kind of ways to look at Dorado C or Dorado point 3. So this sightline you're maintaining here is pretty good. It's not bad at all. You ended up getting drawn into here again though, as opposed to kind of like taking the more passive angle here where we're maintaining cover the whole time. So instead of like playing out in the open right here, which I mean you guys end up winning the fight anyway, again, we want to play for the rank we want, not the rank we're at. As opposed to playing out in the open here, we can kind of maintain these covers here. We're shooting up there, right? We're getting them up here. And then on the rotation, we're hugging a bit more. We're hugging. And the reason we're hugging is because if we play open like this, right, as we're coming across, who knows, Hanzo maybe wall climbs up, hits us, does something, who knows, right? And then you kind of, you hold this area here, right? Like you're right in here because you want to get the nano on them here. As opposed to taking the wide angle here. And look, I still have sights, right? Still have sights on him. I could even take the more aggressive angle here if I need to. And as he comes down, I nano him, right? So you end up putting yourself in like melee range like a Moira would. Like right in this area here. And it's because you want to get the nano on him. But you can get the nano on him from here. You know? Like you can definitely get the nano on him from here. And you can rotate around this way. Plus you have the mini if you need it. So, and if they were to like come out here and like invest resources on you, really easy for you to fall back. You know what I mean? So, just keep that in mind.
Wait for B.
They're not gonna beat. They're not gonna beat.
They beat it already.
I'm down. You have the healers.
Is Zarya one?
I'm pinned. I'm dead.
Zarya's literally one.
Okay, so you guys have one more fight here.
I'll be able to touch his payload. Or me or Penguin will be able to at least.
Oh, not Penguin. I was talking about
Yeah, again.
Penguin.
Don't worry about
Penguin unless he gets spy checked.
I like the rotation here.
I'll be able to touch.
I want you to keep with the rotation though. I want you to keep with that rotation to high ground. This is actually a really good rotation if you can do it on a new fight. So because you're coming in here, like one of your best rotations actually as your team's kind of going in is actually to rotate onto this high ground here. Think about it as your team's kind of going in, the amount of like space you have to kind of do what you need to do from up here. You can rotate into this area and now we're like super aggressive, right? Like holy shit, we can basically control the fight from up here, you know? So take that time because you had that time to rotate all the way around, right? You don't need to be with your team at all times. This is one of those moments where we recognize where the fight's going to take place, which is over where payload is, and we take that extra bit of time to rotate into a place to be more effective with our team.
There's a Han. Oh, I'm dead. There's a Hanzo on the right side. Watch out.
I'm touching.
I was watching.
Now look how dangerous it is for you to kind of get in here, right?
Nice.
Genji on me in the back.
Genji in the back line. Genji in the back line. I'll be part presence. We need someone else to peel.
Almost a bomb. I'm bombing. Got one.
Reinhardt behind us.
I'll push you.
Heavy heals.
Behind.
Okay.
I'll be part presence. We need someone else to peel.
Almost a.
Genji on me in the back.
Genji in the back line. Genji in the back line.
Alright, so with Genji, a little trick with Genjis is wait for them to be at the peak of their jump, their double jump when you're trying to hit them, or as they're coming down. One of the two.
I'll be part presence. We need someone else to peel.
Almost a bomb. I'm bombing. Got one.
Reinhardt behind us.
I'll push you.
Heavy heals.
Behind.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to fire strike you 95% of the time there.
On a low
So
car. On a low car. Dead.
Yeah.
I think even in that instance there, instead of like running towards the cart here, I think it may have been more advisable, because you know where the Reinhardt is coming from here, like, is to just kind of skirt along this area, right? Just keeping him away from you, because you can keep rolling around this area the whole entire time, as opposed to like walking in a straight line knowing that a fire strike's probably going to come from him from behind. So yeah.
Third point.
Ryan's are. And yeah.
Just
Because if we can
those.
hack that Ryan.
If he's trying to isolate like a Reinhardt, for instance, if they got on to us or getting up to us, if he's trying to, then it would be difficult.
But
Let's see here.
hopefully
What are you
they
guys
don't
running
lose it.
here? Alright, Sombra Fair, Mercy, Anna. Okay.
If
Ryan,
he's trying
Zarya.
to- if he's
Okay.
trying to isolate like a Reinhardt,
Or is it
for
Ryan
instance,
Diva?
if they got
Ryan
on to
Diva.
us,
Okay, yeah, this is fine. I like this comp. This'll work.
I don't know what that comp is. That sounds really weird. That sounds like a comfort.
Then
That's why I
Ana.
go defense.
So they have Hanzo.
I had my hand off my mouse.
Alright, I'm gonna hack the rank. Ryan's hacked. So you should be able
Put a
to.
nade in.
Shell and damage.
Nice.
Shell and damage.
Yeah.
Big. That's a massive nade. That's a massive nade right there. But it needs to be sooner. Like, you know he's going to hack the Reinhardt there. You need to be in position already to get the nade in.
We don't know. I don't think we can.
Alright, I'm rotating.
The Silicon gets, like, way too advanced also.
Hanzo's up here.
I'm on you, Ryan.
So we're gonna let him have this one?
Call for healing.
Behind, in the back.
Hanzo's upstairs still.
I'm with you,
I'm
Anna.
backing up. I'm backing up. Thank you.
I'm pushing this Hanzo.
I'm low. I'm low.
I have a shatter here. Gonna shatter in 3, 2, 1.
I got Hanzo.
No one's with you.
Big turn.
Nice sleep.
Ride one.
I'm gonna run.
I'm not backing up on that.
I like the nano. The nano's fine there.
Good jump.
Push.
Are we down here? Or are we go?
Healer's antique.
Good call. Healer's antied. I like that.
They nanos, right?
They're going to have a fully charged Zarya here. Holy shit. So those instances there on those shots, you really need to be quick scoping those shots. You're going to find it really, really difficult to get that. Alright, hey, later, programmer. Airsoft guns. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a nice day. So, I want to talk a bit about Ana rotations here on this map. Your rotation was a bit slow, honestly, and somewhat suboptimal here. So, when you rotated through to this area, you rotated through into here, which is fine. It's fine. I understand because you want to heal really quick. But it's much more, like, you know you have a Hanzo over there. You can take, like, a longer sight line right here and still be just as effective as opposed to kind of, like, playing in this area here. So if you play in this area here and Hanzo decides to come around this side, you're a lot weaker to that Hanzo. He has to invest a shit ton of resources to get to you on this side as opposed to getting to you even on this side, right? Because he can almost, like, see you from over there, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. We also maintain an angle where we can get more aggressive nades here. You could play here, but your Reinhardt's constantly going to be facing, like, right in front of you, right? As opposed to, like, playing right in this area even would be fine. Like, playing further back. So, just kind of keep in mind, like, what they're actually running with. But, I mean, I know you're playing with the team, so it's fine. But, bring up Stat Banana here for a second. I think I've gone over this with you a little bit before when we were talking about your King's Row, actually. Let's apply the same idea here to Dorado, right? So let's imagine where all the threats are coming from here. So we know we have a threat coming from here, and we have a threat coming from here, right? And let's draw, like, the line between their team. So if the line looks like this, essentially, with our team kind of playing here. Kind of playing here, right? So our Reinhardt's playing here, right? And we're down one of our strong DPS, which is kind of stopping them from moving forward. Then our natural positioning should be somewhere over in this area here, as opposed to positioning here, right? We could potentially position here, right? But there's always the potential that they're going to flank around here and get us. And again, we position here, we maintain this kind of balance between the line, where we're always perpendicular to the line of pressure.
Let's back up to fountain.
And we just need a quick scope there. That's really all we need right there.
I'm gonna do the alley right now.
So you're going to have your ult here momentarily. Hanzo's right side, you rotate, good. Good rotate.
I have Valk here. I'm gonna Valk out now.
Big purple, big purple.
There, antique.
I don't know where that is. I don't know where that is.
It's over the edge.
Coming around back, left.
We're on damage.
Penguin, we can EMP bomb whenever you want.
On heals.
Just count them.
Let's do that.
Reinhardt.
Alright.
Ryan's alone. Ice leg.
EMP in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I think you really got drawn into this fight again, like here. Alright, so the Reinhardt...
Count them. Penguin, we can EMP bomb whenever you want.
On heals.
Like, they've been consistently talking about the threat of the Reinhardt, or the threat of the Hanzo on your right, and you're not really minding that. So as they kind of fall back this direction here, we should be falling back over into this corner here, if anything. Or falling all the way back to the right. So, if we maintain like our sight lines here, oh look at all those beautiful. So you're here, right? We'll use the arrows. So if we're gonna fall all the way back to the left, that's gonna mean over into this area here, but that potentially opens us up to the Hanzo. We could also fall back into this area here, which is relatively safe. We could even take like high ground here if we wanted to, right? But Hanzo could come up here and flank us. So we're probably safer in this area here than anywhere else. And we have the mini behind us as well, right? So that's always nice.
Okay.
Just count them.
Let's do that.
Reinhardt, Reinhardt.
Alright.
Ryan's alone.
Keep going. Yeah, unlucky. It's unlucky.
Oh, shit.
Told me I was
Do
coming.
you want any swaps here?
Your comp is still good against theirs.
Let's keep
I
the
got
honor mercy.
Ana, never mind. Ana really low.
Is this winnable?
Yeah, it is. Ana's really low.
Alright, come in hard, come in hard. I have shatter here.
I'm with you, Ryan.
Okay. Ana,
Nice try.
that's my bad, but Ana's really low in the back. She has no heals. She naded. Big shatter, push on her. Nice.
Huge, guys.
Stabilize.
We don't have any
So you guys
heals.
end up winning that still, so that's awesome. Good job. You guys are looking good. You're really not looking bad at all. If we can just work on like kind of the little micro plays from all of you guys, I think we'll be good, right? Because you guys, if you think about it, we'll be able to carry out better plays as a team if we're all collectively playing better individually as well. So if I'm putting myself in a position to carry out a play, right? That's important.
And they still have transcendence.
They use tire, but they're
We might
probably
have to
coming up on it.
So they are
Nam, you're a
most
little
likely
low. You
gonna
know
go
that?
Shields down, shields
Alright,
down.
so we probably didn't need the nade there.
Shattered.
I
I'm
don't.
on you, Ryan. I'm on you.
There's only so much.
Uh,
Down point. I'm gonna swap Winston
I'm
here.
pushing this on.
oh, sorry. Are you res?
Oh, no, you're good.
Ana dead.
Okay.
Hanzo,
It's
get
just
Hanzo.
mercy. It's just mercy. Sorry. Are you res?
I'm shattered.
they are
Nam, you're a
most
little low.
likely
You
gonna
know
go
that?
Shields down.
Alright, so if we think about our positioning again here, you're positioned in a place where if he has to fall back, which he would normally fall back on this to sustain, you can't heal him here, right? Like you're aggressively positioned, which is fine, but because of where the payload is right now, this is suboptimal. Like they have to push, when they push into you guys, their front line is automatically going to be in a place that is really dangerous for us. So let's take a look here, right? So payload's like right in this area here, somewhere in this area, and Nam is going to have to fall back this direction, and you're currently like it's funny when you look at it at the top down, right? We can see like how really suboptimal this is, right? Because you're positioned here, and we would say that this would be way too aggressively positioned right now. Like we want to be in a place where we can make plays and stuff like this, but this is just kind of suicide here. And suicide not just for yourself, but also suicide for your team, especially with the comp we're playing, because we're playing Sombra Pharah. We need to play a bit more passively, in my mind here with you. Like you need to be able to sustain Reinhardt as much as possible. So, and you can't do that from this area here, because his natural fallback is going to put him out of your LOS. So.
Shields down.
back up.
I'm shattered.
I don't.
I'm on you, Ryan. I'm on you.
There's only so much. Down point. I'm gonna swap Winston
I'm
here.
pushing this on.
Oh, sorry. Are you res?
Alright, so Nade still needs to be at your feet here. I think you're struggling for some reason in throwing the nade just at your feet. I'm not sure if it's like maybe sensitivity is too low or something, or you're just not thinking about it. Hard to really say right now.
Good junk.
Alright, I'm swapping Winston here. Let's keep
I'm close to Valkyrie anyway.
let's keep the
They only have 3.
sorry, group up.
Alright, I like this position. This is fine. This is good.
Just posture high ground.
I have bad spawn.
Yep, that's fine. We're just posturing high ground.
We're
Try to stay
coming
out of line
up
of sight of that Hanzo. He's been hitting it.
coming up on EMP Bun and Supportal.
They're gonna have Dragon's Fire and Navy grab.
Maybe go. Okay. Yeah, good work. I like the calls for what they might have. That's excellent. Good communication.
You purple dragon? Oh, that's funny.
Okay, I'm dropping a cart in 3, 2,
We can knock this. Do you want to knock it?
No, I was just trying to get some.
That's
something.
I fell. I have to use it. I have to use it.
Yeah,
We're good. We're good.
we can
Push in then,
EMP
push
bomb.
in,
We
push
can
in, push in.
EMP bomb.
Alright,
I'm ready
EMP,
whenever.
it's 3, 2, 1.
Massive.
Excellent.
Zarya next. Actually, Zen's one. Zen's one. Dead.
Good Zarya now.
Zarya,
So I think this fight's actually over. Even if purple dies, or even if Nom dies there, I don't think we invest the nano. I actually made the same mistake in my last scrim on this exact map in this instance here. So, I get it. It happens. So, it's alright.
Get Ana back here.
I'll forgive. I will say, the one nade, though, that you threw here, let's go back to that.
Zarya now.
Zarya, 1.
We can EMP bomb.
Alright,
I'm ready
EMP,
whenever.
it's 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that nade there. Unlucky. I'll just say unlucky. That's all. But let's look at the kill feed here. We got 2 down, and their main tank here, and we're Valking.
Zen's one. Dead.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't need it there. It's just recognizing and paying attention to the kill feed here. So, that's all it is.
You're
Zarya's
purple.
dead. Zarya's weak.
I know as Anna, we don't want to let
Get
anyone
Ana
die.
back here in the
So,
courtyard.
hey, what's up, man?
Where's that?
Nothing.
Alright. Back
Yeah, I
back,
got
back.
it.
Cool.
My bad,
Cool.
just staggered issues.
Trying to start my computer up.
Gotcha. I'm just doing a VOD review right now for Sequoia. So, got yours
Yeah,
coming
that's
up
fine.
here in a bit. Are you done for the day?
Alright. I have a class at 5:30.
Alright, we'll do your VOD review next then. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, cool. Let me get this one done though. So I'll mute myself here so I'm not talking into your ear.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually probably gonna watch you. You're streaming it?
We're coming up.
Yeah, streaming it right now.
We can DM the barrage.
Yeah, I can DM.
So Sequoia, I want to see you play like a little bit more aggressive here with your position. Like you can play the edge, you know? Like they don't really have too much that can actually hurt you.
Okay.
So you could play the edge a bit more here if you wanted to.
Alright, try and get a flank in. Give us a countdown.
Like even playing like the right side, I think would be strong here. So let's imagine a situation here. Actually, we'll just do this. Just step it in, fuck it. So, all right. So you're currently positioned here, and the payload is coming through, right? Payload's like right around here, right? So we have 2 options, right? We play this area here, and we throw nades down here, or we can play even over here, and we throw nades this way, right? Or somewhere like in here. But we want to be playing the edge a bit more here so that we have some more intel. The only person on their team who can really hurt you right now is literally just their Zenyatta, and he'd have to be like god tier to kill you from up here.
Tell us when.
So,
I'm distracting them front. You're able to get in behind.
SMT?
They're anxious. Go in.
Ryan pinning
I'm
you.
dead.
I have a hand.
Dying card.
I got Joe.
you should be scoping in here.
This is Zen's one.
Like you could have killed the Zenyatta there.
I got
Like
Zen.
100% you could have killed the Zen there. Let's go back there.
Dying card.
I got Joe.
Scope him in. Just get him. Kill him.
This is Zen's one.
I just don't think you're comfortable yet with your scope with Anna. Especially like doing quick scopes and stuff, and that'll come with time. But I definitely think you could have killed the Zen there and got him to stagger a bit. That would have helped out a lot with your team on this next engagement
We
also.
also have enough time for another
There's not a lot of aerial cover, to be honest.
So,
One's up top left.
Yeah, but that's covered the other side.
Give it up.
good.
Hey,
Excellent.
Mr. Shatter, actually, we could go and kill
Really?
it.
You are? Really?
I'm
damage
jumping
you?
this Hanzo up top.
I think I ate it.
I'm with you.
Actually,
I'm
I'm
with you.
junking.
Funky?
I'm
Run on me, run on me.
I'm damage boosting you?
Okay. I think you tunnel visioned a bit here.
Hey, Mr. Shatter, actually, we could go and kill it.
Really? You are? Really?
I'm
damage
jumping
you?
this Hanzo up top.
I think I ate it.
I'm with you.
Actually,
I'm
I'm
with you.
junking.
Yeah, you're just tunnel visioned a bit here. That's really all it is. Like, recognize that he's there and fall back, you know?
Funky?
Like, give him some space.
Healing you?
Get out. They got point.
Oh, they got. Oh, shit.
I made it about.
They have no grab, I ate it. This round's one.
Oh.
I think we actually get more value here with,
Alright, we have EMP bomb again.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Well, nah, we're good here with the comp.
A little bit, so.
Good shot.
EMP bomb, EMP bomb.
Alright, so yeah, Basilicon, Hanzo's your job right now. Hanzo, soldier. Yeah, whenever you can find him isolated.
We can EMP bomb.
Alright, we should be thinking about how we're going to be using our nano here also.
Alright, EMP on car. Wait.
There's
wait,
only
never
two
mind,
in
never
car.
mind. Hold.
Tell us when, tell us when.
Hanzo behind you guys. Hanzo to your guys' right.
Thanks, Lucky.
Alright,
Okay,
EMP
go.
car. In 3, 2, 1.
Bobbing.
Big.
Alright.
You guys' EMP bombs have been really on.
Sarah's half.
I had
Push the
Wilson.
Zarya. She has my personal.
Chase.
Your purple not over. Huh? I'm imaging.
Yep, keep chasing. We
I want to focus a bit more on your positioning here during this.
In 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Alright,
go.
EMP car. In 3, 2, 1.
Bobbing.
Go
Got
by.
Sarah's half.
I had
Push the
Wilson.
Zarya. She has my personal.
Chase.
Your purple not over. Huh? I'm imaging.
Yep, keep chasing. We can stagger.
I'm a little bit out of time, so.
I've got you.
So,
Zarya, get that Zarya. Nice.
Okay,
I push him back.
play more aggressively is really what this is.
Backing out.
Enough now, y'all.
You know what I mean? Like, you should be playing with your team the whole entire time there. Also, I want to bring up the opportunity that was kind of missed here when you were falling back, actually. So, you had an opportunity here where you were hanging out over in this area and you decided to go this direction. Imagine a situation where you actually decided to take the longer route and got into like a really aggressive position here for the EMP that came in, right? So we know we're going to EMP bomb, so we can take that time to kind of position aggressively while we're all kind of posturing and waiting in like areas like here and here and here, right? Like you can get into an aggressive position. So it's just knowing when to get into those positions that's important. And taking that time in between fights to recognize what the next fight might look like and what we want to do.
Oh my god.
Alright, so yeah, that's just not minding the Hanzo there.
Back all the way out.
It's unfortunate.
We're down supports. Back all the way out.
Except for Penguin.
Alright, I'm gonna back early in this fight.
So you guys are going to have Blade here, so you probably nano Blade.
Feels bad.
They trans.
They tranced. I'm cutting off their supports. Jumping out.
They're on me.
The soldier's on me. He's pushing you. He's pushing you.
Behind us. Oh,
He's dead.
I'm
Hanzo Dragon behind.
No, I missed my E. Get this Hanzo.
Let's go back through this
They
here.
tranced. I'm cutting off their supports. Jumping out.
They're on me.
The soldier's on me. He's pushing you. He's pushing you.
Behind us. Oh,
He's dead.
Like you hear him. I mean, I think in that instance there you should be turning around to try to sleep him.
behind.
No, I missed my E.
Like you can definitely hear him there.
Get this Hanzo.
I mean, even if you miss, just trying it would be good.
I'm playing
I'm Bob. Is just Zarya Carter, it looks like?
I like this. Keep going. You can keep going here. Alright, so you guys win this map, actually.
It's pretty close.
Barely, yes.
Yeah, I think we won by like a
Alright, cool. So, I won't like review everything we went over there, but I think your nade usage and your sleep usage is starting to improve quite a bit. Your mechanics still need some work though. And it really just comes down to like farming some Ana paintball and like really just working more on your like quick scoping and stuff like that. Like that's something that I think you really need to kind of like add to your game right now is more comfortability with the actual quick scoping mechanic with Ana, because there are times where you're trying to essentially kind of like shoot somebody in midair who's pretty far away from you, you know, with a no scope, and that's incredibly difficult to do. And Ana, you need to be like really